Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to All Things WWE on the Finished Article. So today we are going to run down WrestleMania 37 Night 1, which was last night. As I was just talking to Cesaro about 20 minutes ago, very disappointed in the WrestleMania Night 1. Before I go into it, though, this is my boy Shazad, my co-host. Yeah, I'll just jump straight into it, Shaz. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley couldn't have gone any worse.
Bro, you know what? Before you carry on, I asked you this question 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, last week, yesterday, the day before. My question is, if you're going to make Bobby Lashley win, why having him in a match with Drew McIntyre and not him?
I'll explain. I'll explain my thoughts on this match. So just give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to run this down as quickly as I can, the best way I can. So Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre was built up to be a big match. Drew McIntyre has been built up over the past year since he beat Brock Lesnar to be what they call superhuman. He does things that unexpected. He comes back from getting his ass kicked to winning. And they've also been building up Bobby Lashley as another beast like Brock Lesnar. Now I'm going to get into this, Shaz. So we've spoke about this before. Bobby Lashley only re-signed with WWE to get his dream match with Brock Lesnar.
Yes, and by the way, guys, now, just in case you're confused, Drew McIntyre isn't Brock Lesnar, so just to clarify that.
No. Yeah, so Bobby Lashley has been built up to be some beast, yeah. He comes up against Drew McIntyre. He gets hit with 3 future shock DDTs in a row consecutively and kicks out. Drew McIntyre, I don't think actually went for one Claymore, or he went for it, but he never actually hit him with it. Now, my only take on that is they wanted to protect the Claymore. They didn't want it to be a move that someone had kicked out of, which is fine. But why put him up against Drew McIntyre if they didn't want him to kick out of his finish? The thing is, Bobby Lashley, the only reason I can see they've done this is they built Bobby Lashley up to be a monster, a beast. What I'm expecting next on Monday Night Raw is Bobby Lashley to be cutting a promo with MVP saying no one can beat me, and boom, Brock Lesnar comes down. That's the only way they can take it. If they don't, then why did he just beat Drew McIntyre so convincingly?
That's what I mean. So first of all, when Lashley won the title of Drew McIntyre, I was buzzing. I said, perfect. You deserve this.
He beat The Miz, bro. The Miz.
Sorry.
The Miz cashed in it, so, and then Bobby Lashley beat The Miz.
Apologies. Thank you, Shaz. Sorry. I got vexed listening to about Bobby Lashley. So, yes, Miz, the Ultimate Opportunist, cashed in. Bobby Lashley then decided, I'm going to take it. Okay, cool. I'm good with that storyline. But my point is, WrestleMania is like a World Cup, is like the Super Bowl, is like a finale. And all of a sudden, what ends up happening is you then have him fight Drew McIntyre again. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but geez, bro, you literally have run out of ideas. Because as Shaz said, unless he faces Brock Lesnar,
unless his next program is Brock Lesnar, there was no point in doing what they just did at WrestleMania.
No, absolutely.
Now, I don't see Brock Lesnar coming back for a match at Backlash. Maybe they could build it up towards SummerSlam, so they can still build Bobby Lashley up to be this beast, a monster, and still undefeated, and then give him a program with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I would have preferred to see it at this year's WrestleMania, if I'm honest. But it's the WWE. They dropped the ball on it. Before I carry on, though, the whole opening segment, Vince McMahon with all the wrestlers on the stage, was brilliant. There was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of goosebumps going around with the wrestlers because they've wanted the fans back in the arena for so long. It's been over a year and they haven't had fans in the arena.
I think for me, as Shaz has alluded to already, I think wrestling without the fans, although the TV atmospheres were good, isn't the same. The reaction just makes wrestling what it is. I mean,
definitely.
The crowd pops, the heels, everything was just back.
Everything when the fans are there is 100 times better, and it always will be. But that whole thing where Vince McMahon opened, it welcomed everyone back. You could see the emotion in some of the wrestlers. They were absolutely buzzing to be back with the fans. Now, the only thing I didn't like was the whole opening segment of Titus and Hulk Hogan. Yes, they were the host of WWE, but all they did was open the show, and that was it. They didn't do anything else.
Well,
They were in a backstage segment with the NWO and Bailey, which was pointless as well. Bailey was just being a mark for the NWO and saying "too sweet me" and all this crap. You know, it was just sad. Do you get me? It was just sad, bro.
this,
Um,
this is where I have a problem. So
this is the tone of the video. This is just how I feel about WWE and WrestleMania right now.
by the way, guys, disclaimer: Shaz is off to go on another rant like he did yesterday, and
I haven't even started yet, bro. Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. So I'm going to jump on to the next match, Shaz, which was Naomi and Lana versus Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke versus Natalia, Tamina, which is the Riot Squad, and then versus Carmella and Billie Kay. This was just a filler match. There was no actual point in this match.
I actually, you know, in life there are things where you just put things into fill slots. This is something like that. Shaz, remember if we're meeting up and we decide, you know what, let's just take 5 minutes out to stretch our legs. This is what this was. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, the point is, though, Shaz, this match should never have been on the card. This isn't a WrestleMania match. They could have easily had this on SmackDown and had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships in this slot,
fact,
or the Andre the Memorial Battle Royal. Exactly, what was the point in this match? There was no point. I mean. The winners don't even get a women's tag team title opportunity. It wasn't for the number one contendership. It was just a match that came after the championship match as a filler, and it did nothing for it. This was just basically a piss break for everybody that was in the arena and everyone watching at home. And I'm not trying to be offensive to the women wrestling. I'm not trying to be offensive at all. It's just this match was just a filler match, and it was pointless being on the card.
What Shaz is saying is that the women's title match between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, which we'll touch on shortly, was legendary. Yeah. But what he's saying is, if you're going to put a match in, have the significance behind the match.
So this match had no significance on the card at all. This match was thrown together to give, 5 tag teams? Not even real tag teams, let's be honest. Billie Kay and Carmella have never teamed together at all before this tournament. Naomi and Lana have just recently started teaming together, and same with Natalia and Tamina. The only actual tag teams there are the Riot Squad and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. So where does this match even come from?
You know, I think
some of these people are actually on. So some of these people are actually on Raw, and the others are on SmackDown, which is fair. This match should have been a number one contender match, which would have made more sense. But again, like I said in the last recap on Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, WWE dropped the ball yet again. That's twice in 2 matches that WWE have dropped the ball. WrestleMania 37 did not start off well for me. I'm just glad I never stayed up all night to watch this in the UK, because I wouldn't have gone to sleep till about 4 a.m. I would have been pissed off. I probably wouldn't have been able to sleep because I would have been vexed. I would have just come onto this podcast on my own and vented for about an hour like I'm doing right now.
Shaz, attention. If you're watching this is why you don't put stupid matches on, because you got your boy here ranting and he can't stop. So please stop.
I can't help it, bro. I just can't help it. I'm going to go on to the next match, because this is a match I actually enjoyed. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins.
This was a legendary match.
The ticker at the bottom says, at the bottom there, Rollins was swung to defeat. I couldn't have been more happier for Cesaro. He got a WrestleMania match and he won it. This match, this win, does wonders for his career. Seth Rollins didn't need this win. If it was for a title, yeah, Seth Rollins could have won it. But Seth Rollins wasn't selfish. He put over Cesaro, who, if you ask me, he's underrated, it was well deserved, and he's underutilized by WWE. Cesaro is one of the best technical wrestlers, and pound for pound, one of the strongest on the roster, and not just the SmackDown roster. That's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all rosters combined. This guy I mean, he swung Rollins 23 times at least, in that match.
Yeah,
He swung him 23 times and he won. I'm so happy that obviously Cesaro won. The match itself was a good match. It went back and forth. Seth Rollins did what he does best. He performed. Cesaro did the same. Cesaro's a brilliant performer. Putting these two together was actually the only good thing that WWE have done so far at WrestleMania this year. With it, up to where what we've talked about so far. We'll talk about the rest of it after, but
I want to add on one thing. So as Shaz has alluded, I have to say that Seth Rollins loved his entrance music, was different, was better than what we've been listening to. The Messiah gimmick for me was just dry and boring and just not what we needed. And for me, I'm glad he actually put Cesaro over. This is what we talk about, good storyline. The Cesaro has deserved this WrestleMania moment for far too long. And tonight he got it, or last night he got it. And I couldn't say it was probably one of the best matches we've seen until now. But
I'm going to be honest with you, Shaz. I'm glad you've said that. Cesaro, Seth Rollins, that match was, if you ask me, the best match on the card. Watching the card, I watched all the matches that, I forwarded the 5-way tag team turmoil women's match because that was just a filler and I didn't want to watch it. But this match, Cesaro, Seth Rollins, I watched it start to finish, and it was, like I said, best match on the card. Best match of the night. I think night 2 there are some matches that could top it. But we'll see. We'll see that tonight. But yeah, I'll let you talk on that match, bro. I'll let you give your thoughts on that match.
I mean, for me, I think, which match are we covering now? Just out of interest.
Cesaro and Seth Rollins, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So as Shaz has alluded to, I think, one of the best matches of that. And actually, I got to let you in on the secret, Shaz. So while Shaz was sleeping, I was actually staying up and I actually managed to catch that catch. And you know what? If you had to wake up to a match, that was phenomenal. I mean, just watching that match.
You know what? I will be honest. I was awake last night till about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I just didn't watch WrestleMania because I knew there was going to be parts of it that I wasn't going to like, and I would have just switched the channel. So instead of being able to forward it, I would have had to change the channel because, and I'm glad I didn't stay up to watch WrestleMania. I stayed up to like watch movies and stuff like that. But right, I mean, I don't have a problem staying up for WrestleMania as long as it's got decent matches. This night one only had, it had one decent match that I wanted to watch with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. The other match I was looking forward to was Lashley and McIntyre, but they completely ruined it.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I didn't stay up to watch this, bro. And that's just me. I'm a hardcore wrestling fan. I stay up to watch WrestleMania near enough every year.
We've done it in the past. Myself,
we've done it when we were in college. You used to come around and we used to watch WrestleMania, and then you used to go to college the next day, and I go to sleep. Do you know what I mean?
By the way, if you're watching this, he was in college. You just didn't see him. He was hiding away in the labs. But anyway, to sum up that match, as Shaz has said, great match. I'm happy Cesaro won. The storyline was epic, and it just made watching that more epic. Moving on, we're going to touch upon the New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. And again, before Shaz goes off on a rant, I need to get my word in here because I know
I'll let you start, bro. I'll let you start. I'm shaking my head because it's.
I'm in disbelief. I do not understand the logic behind this match, especially let me just say some AJ Styles, love the guy, legend, but I have no idea what taking Omos in does for him or does for the storyline. It's just made no sense, no logic. Who you telling the story to? But go on, Shaz, take it away.
I'm gonna let you carry on, bro. I'll let you finish. You're saying what I want to say, so I'll let you finish, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, basically for me, I don't understand but the story, look, I don't mind that they took the titles, but the question is,
the thing is, though, you're saying you don't mind they took the titles, but I do.
No. What I mean is I don't mind they took the titles because I like AJ Styles. But my point is, what does AJ Styles have to gain from winning a tag team championship?
Exactly.
It could have been one of the new.
I'll fill you in on that. I think the reason they're doing it is because they want AJ to be a Grand Slam champion. And I think he was just missing the tag team titles in WWE because he's held the IC title, he's held the Universal title, the WWE Championship. I don't think he's held yet. Actually, no, he held it.
Yeah, he did briefly.
I'm sure he's held it. So the only other title that he hasn't held is the SmackDown tag team titles. Those are the titles that he hasn't held yet. And I think once he holds that, he'll be a Grand Slam on Raw and SmackDown, bar NXT. If they want him to drop down to NXT, I'd love that. I'd love to see AJ Styles in NXT against Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong. You know, dropping AJ. And when I say drop, I don't mean it's a step down. I just mean a lot of people think NXT is development, but to me, it's not. It's still, like I said, it's the number one brand in WWE.
Or should we quote what
No.
Tommaso Ciampa used to say a while back when AJ Styles dropped in for the night? He said that NXT was the main roster.
Exactly.
Me, I have to say, let me sum it up by just saying before Shaz takes it away, I think Big E kicking off the show was the highlight of the match. That was it. Nothing else.
I was going to say that. Seeing Big E backstage with the New Day was absolutely buzzing. I absolutely love the way they cut promos of New Day. It's absolutely amazing. And to have him lead the team out to that was brilliant. And I hope they're there to lead him out for his match against Apollo Crews tonight. But speaking on AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day, it's just one of them. It was a pointless match. I mean, why? AJ Styles and Omos have never teamed together. Omos was like his bodyguard, you know, like Diesel was for Shawn Michaels, but Diesel was an actual wrestler. Yeah. Omos doesn't look like he can wrestle much. No. He's a big guy. He's strong. And they showed his strength where he was throwing Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods around. But AJ Styles and Omos winning that was pointless. Why put the Raw Tag Team titles on AJ Styles at all? I mean, AJ Styles is better than the tag team division. He should be up there facing Bobby Lashley or Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, or he should be in a number one contenders match.
That's what I mean.
Don't get me wrong. I like the pairing of. Sorry.
I think they just ran out of storylines, and they were like, "Oh, let me just put this guy with this guy and make it a storyline." Yeah. I'm like,
I mean, they've got other tag teams on Raw that they could have put into that tag team title match instead of AJ and Omos, like Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin versus New Day. Again, that's already happened. Don't get me wrong, but they pull off good matches. It's like putting the New Day against the Usos when they had that long feud years ago. Every time they stepped in the ring, you knew they were going to leave it all in the ring.
That's what I mean. It's a storyline to sell it. So for me, as Shaz has said, Usos versus New Day, long history feud. They go back and forth. They just add value to the matches, and people are into it.
Exactly.
By the way, before we go on, if you thought this was a pointless match, then the next match was diabolical. I mean, Braun Strowman, Monster Among Men, versus Shane McMahon, and I'm like,
I mean, I've already spoke on this match when we did the preview, didn't I, Chaz? I mean, I think you remember what I was saying about this match. It's Shane McMahon throwing his weight around as the boss's son, wanting to be on WrestleMania for no reason at all.
That's what I mean.
They built Shane up at the start of this match to actually be looking like he was going to beat Braun Strowman. And they don't do that with many people. When you put someone in the ring against Braun Strowman is always looking like he was going to win. But this match, Shane had Jackson Riker and Elias attack Braun Strowman and then they used steel chairs. It looked like Shane was going to win, but then Strowman grabbed him through the cage because he put his hand in, ripped the cage apart, brought Shane back in, took him to the top of the cage just to throw him off.
Yeah.
Like I said, Shane McMahon was going to, either get thrown off or jump off something high, which bang on he did. And that's all he's good for is high spots. If you've noticed in every match Shane McMahon has had, he jumps off something tall. I think the match that he had against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, he jumped off the Hell in a Cell. The match he had against Kevin Owens, he jumped off the top of the Hell in a Cell, but Sami Zayn pulled Kevin Owens out the way.
Yeah, correct.
So every match you see, even if you look earlier back, Shane McMahon, when he first started wrestling, when he fought Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle belly to belly suplexed him overhead through the glass. Do you know what I mean? Shane McMahon likes his high spots. He likes putting his body at risk, which is fine. But he's still not a wrestler to me. He's still the boss's son, just throwing himself into the cards.
Remember yesterday when you were having a rant about righteous? This is what Shaz means. So this is basically some mug behind that decided Shane O'Mac.
It's not even a mug, bro. It's not even the writer's fault. This is Shane McMahon saying, "I want to be on WrestleMania. Put me in a program with someone." And then he goes, "Oh, you know what? Put me in a program with the biggest guy there, and I'll make myself look strong before I get beat." That's all it was. It was Shane McMahon making himself look good against Braun Strowman before he gets thrown off something big and then beaten like he does in near enough every match.
Yeah.
Pointless having Shane McMahon on as a wrestler because he's not a wrestler. As a general manager or an owner of Raw or SmackDown, whatever you want to call it, an on-screen authority figure, yeah, I'm fine with that because he's the boss's son. You know, he owns parts of the company. Having him on as an authority figure is fine, but having him thrown into matches for no reason. I mean, Braun Strowman could have fought anybody else off the Raw roster, and even Ricochet, bro. And Ricochet is around the same size as Shane McMahon. And Ricochet can do a lot more in that ring than Shane McMahon can.
Yeah.
And it's Shane McMahon taking opportunities away from people that have worked all their life to get to WWE just to be overshadowed by the boss's son. I mean, what more can I say about that guy, bro? What more can I say about that match? I'm going to jump on to the next match now, bro.
You know what? I'm going to let Shaz take this one because he's going to love talking about this.
So the next, oh my word, the next match, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and Morrison. Right, so I'm going to start off with the intro. The Bunny is hopping to the ring for Miz and Morrison's intro. Again, stupid, fun. It was funny to start with, but it dragged on too long. There was too many bunnies. And then you had the Miz and Morrison perform their "Hey Hey Hop Hop" crappy song to the ring. Pointless doing it, pointless song. And then I think you had Damian Priest and Bad Bunny coming down in a semi truck or something. Now I'm going to go into this a bit more, Shaz. This match was, like I said in the preview for WrestleMania. Where does Miz go from getting beat by Bad Bunny? And it wasn't. When I say that now, when I said it before, it wasn't a tag team match. It was just Miz versus Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
But obviously, they turned it into a tag team match because Bad Bunny, if you watch the match, he's not a great wrestler. He's been in the, he's been at the Performance Center learning, which is great, and he needs to because he needs to obviously up his game to be, especially in a WrestleMania card. He wasn't ready for that match.
No, he wasn't.
He still, if you watch it, it was very awkward watching him wrestle.
Do you remember? Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Do you remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Big Show? Yeah. That's exactly how I like it. This match, a guy that is a boxer but not a wrestler, and the same with Bad Bunny. He's a singer, but he's not a wrestler. The same thing.
But the difference there is though, Floyd Mayweather is an athlete.
Yeah.
So, but Bad Bunny, he's never been in the ring before. That was his first ever match, and they gave it him at WrestleMania, and they gave him the win. Not just give him a match, but they gave him the win. They let him pin The Miz, a two-time Grand Slam champion in the WWE. Why let Bad Bunny beat such a superstar? And I know people hate The Miz, right? Because for whatever reason, he came through reality TV. He came through, I can't even remember what show it was. But The Miz has done so much since he started in WWE. He's done so much within his career. He started off and he wanted to leave. I remember reading this in an interview with that The Miz had, or was listening to it. The Miz actually wanted to leave because he used to get bullied kind of backstage by the other wrestlers because of where he came from. But no, The Miz stuck it out The Miz stayed. The Miz carried on. And now look where he is. He's one of the biggest superstars in WWE. He's a movie star. He's got his own reality TV show with his wife and kids. Why let Bad Bunny beat him? That's what I don't understand. Where does the Miz go now from losing to Bad Bunny at WrestleMania?
Yeah,
you've built the Miz up to be a big superstar. He won the championship off Drew McIntyre just weeks ago, and then he lost it to Bobby Lashley for no reason. The Miz should have been at the main event, or he should have been in the main event match. When I say main event, I mean the WWE Championship match. Sorry, it should have been the Miz versus Bobby Lashley. So the agreement Bobby Lashley had with the Miz was Bobby Lashley beats down Drew McIntyre. The Miz comes down, cashes in, takes the title, and then Bobby Lashley gets a title match against the Miz. Why not do that at WrestleMania in front of 25,000 fans and give Bobby Lashley his WrestleMania moment by winning his first championship in 16 years? His first, World Heavyweight Championship in 16 years in WWE.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's my point.
Why take that away from him from WrestleMania and give him it on Raw? It was stupid planning. Whoever wrote that storyline needs to be sacked from WWE, like I was saying yesterday. Now, the Bad Bunny, I don't know if he's going to be sticking around after WrestleMania. How long was his contract for? He's just beat The Miz, and now he's going to go back to his stupid singing career. So that win did nothing for him. Do you get where I'm coming from? I know I'm ranting here, and it's because I'm really angry about the way they've done quite a lot on this card, bro. And this is just night one, folks. Wait till I get to night two and things happen in night two that I don't like.
Guys, by the way, this highlights why the next match we're about to touch upon, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, was the highlight of the night. So this is what we're trying to say. These two hit it off from the start. They played each other well. They complemented each other. I'm glad that Sasha Banks put over Bianca. She's a she was awesome. And for me, I thought they stole the show. But this just shows how you know what, the thing that annoys me the most, and as Shaz has alluded to, if you can come up with a brilliant storyline like this, and then you've got Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, the other one big. What are you doing for the rest of the card? I'm glad this WrestleMania wasn't in one night, because I would have fallen asleep long before we even got to this.
Oh, exactly. I mean, yes, I'm this match, the women's title match. Yeah, Bianca Belair deserved that. She came up from NXT. And I don't think she became NXT Women's Champion for some reason. She wasn't, there to beat Io Shirai, which is fair enough. They gave Io Shirai a big title run, a long title run, and we spoke about that on the NXT Takeover recap videos. But yeah, she deserved it. She came off to the main roster. She's performed week in, week out. The fans are behind her. She had great chemistry with Sasha Banks. And she pulled off the win. What more do you want?
Absolutely. For me, I enjoyed this match, and this was summed up everything that was amazing about the card, which does not say a lot about the rest of the card, but it does tell you that somewhere.
I mean, my thoughts on the rest of the card.
You know what, Shaz? I think we've been going on too long, guys. Apologies for the rant, but you know what?
No apologies. No, I don't even apologize for what I said.
No.
I'm not even going to apologize for those rants.
I apologize not for the rant, but anybody who had to suffer the pain that me and Shaz have just had to.
I feel sorry for everyone that stayed up to watch it, especially the people that were in the arena that had to watch some of that crap go down. I feel sorry that they paid ticket prices to get in, because right now I wouldn't have paid to go to that one. I wouldn't have paid to go to that one. If I snuck in for free to night one, I would have been fine with it, because it was a free entry. But no, I wouldn't have been happy with my paying to watch that crap.
Guys, before we proceed on, I know we've covered a lot, but please leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. As always, your thoughts and comments are really appreciated.
Yes, please.
We've enjoyed covering the segments over the last couple of days, especially with NXT Takeover and now WrestleMania Night 1. As always, we'll be looking into WrestleMania right 2 tonight, and we're hoping to come back to you at some point, probably tomorrow, to give you
evening,
our thoughts on that. But Shaz,
Yep.
I'm gonna let you wrap it up, sum it up for us, bro.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much more. I think I've gone on too long already in the matches there. Yeah, I wasn't happy with WrestleMania Night 1. If you want to hear why, just watch the video from the start. You'll just hear me rant and go on and on. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, like the videos, and leave your comments on what you actually thought about WrestleMania. Leave your comments on what you thought about the matches. And we can do a video talking about your comments and your views on this.
Absolutely.
So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Until the next video, stay safe and see you then.